Is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Shall I start?
Sure. Please go ahead.
Very good afternoon to all the listeners. I hope I will not take more time. It's 45 minutes allotted to me, and I'll try to cover as much as possible. And whichever cannot be covered, I will request my partner to draft one notes and send it across to you guys so that you could circulate among your people. Okay. So on today's day topic has been awarded to me for speaking on online sexual abuse, which is at abundant in this country. So going forward, I always have this say before I start my lecture, one quoted by Reese Witherspoon. There remains what seems like an impenetrable wall of silence around violence, and we must play a role in breaking this silence. That is what she quoted during her early days when she was a very famous Hollywood actress. Now, here are the best figures that could trigger your mind before you could listen to me. Online has played a very dirty game, though it has been proven advantaged at many times, especially in the pandemic situation. It was the only thing which made us work from home and gave us a length and stopped us from going into some other disharmony where many people have suffered also. But it is beyond that particular thing. There has been a lot of menacing thing which is happening in that habitat, is on the virtual habitat. So these are the figures which will give you a clear idea on what exactly is happening. Now, if you say when you talk about India, roughly around the rate of cyber crimes are increasing like anything. You see, Uttar Pradesh is topping with the list of crimes. Secondly, Karnataka, trailing is Maharashtra on third number, and so on. So a lot of cases which is happening is 50% of the cases, whenever we have studied, when I was there very closely working with the police entity, I remember it used to be 60-40 or it used to be 50-50. 60% to 50% would be coming every month is on online harassment, online abuse, sexual exploitation, extortion, and 50% would be on the finances, which is obvious one of the most major part of the cybercrime. Okay, so back then and now is not much of a difference. Even today, if you take these figures, easily 50% of the entire cases is all related to online abuse. Now, when you talk about online sexual, exploitation and this thing and abuse, 1 in 3 internet users worldwide are children, basically, or if you see, and around the statistics, if you see, just a minute. Okay. 750,000 individuals at any point in the time are estimated to be looking to connect it with the children for sexual purposes. This is the online predators who've been waiting for the children or the teenage people to take advantage of them. Because so one of the CSM Europol repository says 46 million unique images have been checked out where the child sexual abuse is captured through the images and videos that are being shared online. Because a lot of predators sitting is thanks to all the social media like Instagram, it gives a handy homework to all these criminals or perpetrators who are sitting online for only these purposes. Okay. Now going ahead, if you see, sextortion is like 45% of perpetrators carried out the threats. 60% knew the perpetrators in person before the threats, and 40% met perpetrators online. But when you talk about any sextortion happening in the real-time scenario, 60% of the people knew that knew the person who carried out that thing. Maybe a boyfriend, maybe a fiance, or maybe a ex-husband, something divorce kind of thing. So sextortion is too much these days. It is too much. It is happening, and especially in the teenage, among the teenage, if you see, the numbers are quite shivering. And most of the time, why it is happening in abundant in India, like scenario, as my earlier speaker rightly said, अगर लड़की चुप है तो बहुत सयानी है, मतलब बहुत balanced है, बहुत matured है. Silence is equal to maturity. But in these cases, especially in the crime level, the more silent you are, the more it gives them a booster. It gives them energy of going beyond and trying to shamanize themselves and say, oh, look how great I am, sort of thing. So silence plays a very negative role over here. So one thing, there's a reason I quoted that Reese Witherspoon's quote, what she mentioned. Silence over here, one has to be a motivating factor for the other so that he or she could confide and speak out what they are going through when it comes to online. Not every time the person, just because they played it, they flirted a little bit, which is their age, I believe. We should not victimize them further in the family side or in the friend circle or in our teacher line also. Now, this is how it has exploded. If you see, in 1998, roughly, it is a World National UN report. Around 3,000 reports on suspected online abuse of the children was reported in 1998. But in 2019, if you say it is like, something way 1 crore 69 lakh something reports was, it is almost an increase by 5,600 times now. So this is all which is coming as legally, which has been reported. Okay, there is something happening beyond our understanding, which is not even coming. It could be how much times you can't even imagine. And I think so. All of the attendees at least once might have undergone all this harassment, be it a male or a female. It is no gender bias. At times, even male undergo a lot of harassment. So, and nowadays, it is sextortion is the major victimization. Sextortion is at equal ratio, male and female. The most common types of online harassment, what it happens as per the US students made this survey world around. They said, sexual remarks been made, online rumors been done, mean comments on their Insta posts or their Facebook posts, any of the social media posts, and there are other type, where they can be victimized. Now, the different types of harassment which they underwent during those things is 35% had sent a screenshot of someone's status or a photo to laugh at them in the group chat. 25% had trolled somebody in online gaming, which in India is very less, but around the world it is more. Liked or shared something online that openly mocks on the other person. Twitter, the best example is Twitter. You might have come across so much of incidents. Even the news channels started covering it. 16% had done something certainly annoying somebody. They didn't like them doing online. 12% of the people had sent nasty messages either privately or publicly to somebody they know offline. This is the hideous way. This particular 12% of the category are the most threatening. This according to our psychology, we say these are the people who believe in the rape culture sort of thing. They're very friendly up front. They're very accommodating up front. And when it comes to their online avatar, they are all the hideous, the baddest person, etc., etc. 5% had created a fake profile and used it to annoy to upset another person. These are usually the people who had a very lovey-dovey feeling earlier, then things didn't work out, and then they appear to be a demon, and they have let the demons outside to work a negative role for their partners. But at the same time, since internet is all about anonymity, they have used it pretty well. Now, this is a beautiful Comparitech is one of the most oldest and one of the most modern days statistical institute, which keeps on surveying world around and getting the things. If you see, talk about bullied and everything, this is the age group what they have given you a rough idea, like how much percent, 19, the major people who are getting victimized or bullied by age is 14 to 18. The second is 11 to 13, and 54% is above 19, something like that. So if you can see this figure, all this 11 to 19 and above, these all people are very, very active on the social media. 6 to 10, they are very active on the gaming media and some other things, or via some other messenger services they might call. But the major social media bullying happens in Instagram because it is too much of photos getting uploaded to show how happy I am or how beautiful I look, or to gain the confidence or to boost their self-confidence by getting likes and hearts, etc., etc. Second is Facebook, which has got ample of things. It's got a video also. It has got many things, writing out your views, etc., etc. Snapchat, WhatsApp is a messenger services. YouTube is where a lot of blogging, like TikTok, people are coming and all, posting so that they get popularity. Twitter is, of course, Twitter cannot go because Twitter was the first in kind where the bullying started. and the word trolling came into existence. So these are the pretty typical social media where all these abuses happen. Okay. Now, what exactly is online sexual exploitation or abuse? What we are talking today. So if you see, it is basically is nothing where one person is manipulating the other person because he is not in front of the person, have studied that person's profile online, knows that person in the physical form, and known that person for a day, but never dared to approach, or always wanted to confront that person, but never had the daring. So chooses the online media, and then after gets out all the negative your behaviors or the negative expression for that particular person by the means of online media, and starts disturbing the other person's emotional and psychological balance by the means of trying to remind about the past, or linking the earlier people to that particular person, so that they are always in the constant worry and lost their peace, etc., and they always come back with some of the issues, and their routine life is collapsed. The idea is to not let them live the way they have been living, or not that let their life get into the normalcy what they was which it was earlier. Now, all this exploitation, when it's happening illegally, when you're talking to someone older than you or someone of your own age, you know, you have to understand one thing: whether those persons, whoever are trying to be of your age, or somebody elder to you, or somebody mature to you, or somebody protecting to you, are they really a kind of person what they're telling? You have to ask your gut instinct, which always signals you, which you fail to attend. This is most of the time, most of the crime happens when your gut is telling that there's something wrong. As I remember, I always quote Hindi movies which has been influential on today's people. Hera Fairy. There is a movie where Akshay Kumar forges the signature or something like that. To forge Sunil Shetty's signature, passes out the stamp paper to your I forgot the actor's name, but the character's name is Baburao Apte. And whenever he's trying to signature, he gets a background song, Golmaal hai bhai sab golmaal hai. So that is what happens even with us when we try to ponder on certain event. Our instinct tells something is not right, or so it ponders you that something is going to be wrong. Be aware, sort of. But we ignore those things, finding like after a long time I'm getting somebody mature is trying to listen me out, etc., etc. That is where the things start going wrong for yourself. Now, how do you know whether you've been sexually exploited and abused online? So, if you see if somebody is encouraging, by the means of communication to do sexual things or trying to explore yourself, sends unwanted nude photos or flashes themselves on the webcam when they are on the one-to-one chat, or even in the group chat, there has been incidents in the COVID situation where a lot of people have misbehaved very badly. Sends you unwanted nude photos or flashes on the webcam, ask sexual questions about you, or make inappropriate sexual comments, because not everybody is very comfortable when somebody is talking about sex or something. It's very personalized thing even today. So somebody is trying to be extra free, trying to tell you that this is nothing, it's open. I'm a follower of Osho, or maybe I've read this Kama Sutra so well, it's in a different stance. There are a lot of people whichever cases I have handled in my past, they have told me, sir, he confided me in such a way, he tried to ask me to do that, etc., etc. And that is where I fall for him, etc. Or that is where I got victimized. Or some of the cases are also mentioned that they were exposed to the pornography and trying to, get their reaction, whether they are getting curious, whether they're getting annoyed, whether they're getting what. And then after slowly mend them, into those kind of videos, get them addicted, and then after play their game, sort of. And somebody encourages you to watch them to do sexual things without your consent, etc. These are the typical things which are very uncomfortable and scary thing when the other person is trying to do. This is where you come to know that, okay, there is something more than just a friendship the other person is demanding, and this could really be troublesome. So you should always ensure that your teens or your neighbors, whoever in that team, in that age group they fall in, you are a little vigilant about them, not judge them for what they do but be a little guardian kind of, keep that guardian vigilant eye on them so that you could protect them when they need so, and not gossip or not make a big mess out of what they have done. In India, I've seen one thing very clearly: if anything goes wrong, that is where the culture, the caste, the religion, the ancestral, everything comes into a report card, as if some crime record has been played. Oh, look at them, and they talk about culture. Look at them, how well their parents have made raised their children, etc. This is more demotivating than anything else. This is one thing I've seen when I was handling cases during my services in the police, is that a lot of people come and they don't want to confide in their own parents, own mother, or their own sister, because the sister is jealous of her. No, the sister is not accommodating. She will fill in wrong information in the parents. She will lose the value of her in her own family. Her own family will not look after her. Her friends will not look after her, or something like that. It's more of a female kind of complaints I have attended, very less, one or the either exceptionally among the boys of that time. But these are the typical psychological, societal killing what we do. Society plays a most negative role, which we need to correct on today's day, rather than giving a warm welcome to the criminal who is wanting that with that child, so that they get totally isolated from the society, and that guy only becomes the only solution for that particular child, or the girl, someone. Now, what types of online sexual exploitation happens? One is grooming. Grooming is where, where the tactics you are used by the individual to gain your trust. They develop a relationship with in a very friendly manner. They compliment you. Oh, this is very beautiful. Oh, that book you read. Okay, I went through. Have you gone to that particular page, etc., etc., sort of thing. They will give a lot of attention to your daily things. They will give you, and who doesn't like attention at that age? Anybody giving attention, complimented with affection, they fall for it. Lot of they confuse that kind of behavior for something called a major word called love. Love is not known to anyone, but these kind of tactics make the other person feel very comfortable, and they fall for that in the name of love. A lot of kindness, especially then giving gifts or passing away the money so easily, because okay, here I'm passing out that money, go and buy yourself something, go treat yourself well. And this is happening, very easily these days. Earlier it was very difficult, because unless and until one-to-one contact happens, nothing could be really exchanged. Today, with the thanks to the digital money, UPI, wallet, etc., it can easily come into that thing. So you have to be really working hard on making your children, or that particular age group in your connection. Tell them what is exactly the healthy relation is all about. Make them more comfortable about your presence, and tell them a lot of bad things are happening in the society. So you will make me aware. Be free to talk it out, etc., etc. Then there is something called blackmail, which is happening from ages. They get some photograph, they get some videos, they try to shoot you somewhere else, and then after play, make you victimized for their favors, etc. Boyfriending and girlfriending is a very typical exploitation, which has been happening earlier physically, nowadays happening in abundant online thing. If you see, it is all about relationship. They genuinely portray as your healthy boyfriend or girlfriend, and then after take advantage, making it a mess in your life. There is something called love bombing, which is happening in abundant, where the exploiter gives you abundance of compliment and affection to gain your love and trust. For example, they know, studying your profile, the kind of photographs you put or the kind of books you put, easily they can come to know whoever are predator. They're trained for themselves. They know the psychology of the person, what kind of things will make you most comfortable. So that is where they try to play those particular role, and they start every day: good morning, love you, have a good day, good afternoon, did you smile for the day, I hope the day was good. They keep on giving the attention and affection every day. Then one fine day you'll come to know that you're fallen madly in love with them. There is only one person who really cares for your mental health or your well-being, is the person whom you don't even know. So that is where they play a very magical role. Luring, it is something like when a person uses any online communication by the, wherever you have put it on your Facebook or Instagram, your number it gets revealed, where they make, they try to get you into one particular juncture where you will also reveal yourself openly and come above all the things. They excite you so much so that you unintentionally or by mistakenly happen to, let's see what happens next kind of thing. This luring majorly happens not with girls but with the male characters a lot, where sextortion takes place. But girls, I will not say that it is not done, but luring, it happens with the girls on the physical side a lot, where they get videographed or photographed with those kind of things. And that is where a lot of abuse can take place tomorrow, because digital anything on the digital world, it is not erasable so easily. It keeps on multiplying beyond your calculation. Like, it is not something like you put something on the on WhatsApp and send it across, it will remain in the WhatsApp. You have given so much of permissions to the other application that it can replicate anything. Those application might be sharing the data with so many other people for money making. So you may never know how it will get multiplied, etc. Persistence is someone keeps asking you for something, where even when you know that there is no, that naam hi ha wala formula hai. इनका नाम ही हाँ है. So they keep on trying, hitting. One fine day they know somewhere, someday you will be weak or you will be little low, where they will play their advantage. There are kind of things. Immediately block them. They might reappear with other name. They might come with other disguiseful name. They might come as your own friends by taking their identity sort of thing. But be very watchful, be very mindful when you are accepting those, and try to block those people. Using a pity or guilt, where they will make you feel sorry for them, like they are typical narcissist and a toxic kind of behaviors. Whatever they do, they will punish you, and then they will make you feel that I was very human, you got the demon out of me because of your this behavior, you keep on doing this, that's the reason it irritates me, you go and talk to that other guy, that's the reason it comes violent on me, that's the reason I come and so ugly in front of you, etc., etc. So this is where the other person starts feeling, yeah, am I that bad, that the person started thinking that everything is because of me. Why am I destroying this person's life? So you come to a very big dilemma, whether are you to continue this relationship, or this is the only person who could tolerate such narcissist or toxic. Whereas it is exactly the opposite. The other person is narcissist, but the person who is very simple starts taking the blame up. Now, in this sending sex messages, if you see explicit material, you see it can be anything. Like, a lot of people will throw an open discussion. Like, they will talk about sex as if it is hardly matters. In today's world, if you go to Netflix and everything, it is so much. Have you seen that serial? Okay, in that, that particular moment of the sex, how it was. They'll try to make it very convincing to the other person, saying like the other person is not really implanting anything on their brain. They're talking very generally, and then they'll say this particular scene I was talking, and slowly they will take you to the actual scene where all that nudity happens, and then they will try to see your reactions. How open are you towards it? Whether you are approachable to it, or if not, then they will take some. They keep on studying your psychology. They will keep on studying your patterns of reaction by sending you certain pics and picking up your reaction, etc. Whether you are attentive, how negatively you react, how positively you respond, how silent you are. Then they make their move. The sextortion, I need not tell this. There are a lot of cases in Nasik district itself. Almost in last year, I bumped into around 20 odd cases where men, female both were lured into some marriage fraud and then photographed or videographed, or somebody tried to be a princess of some Nigerian country and were fantasizing a Maharashtrian man to be her future husband, because they are one of the most simplest in the world. So falling for such things, they start communicating, channelizing, and then after she strips up this, the other person strips up from this side, and then all the video recording happens, and then they start threatening you, asking for money, or asking to send more sexual videos with other partners, or try to involve some of the other people in the same racket, etc. or demand to meet them in person so that they could fulfill their desires from you. So this is happening in abundance. So you very watchful when you are giving away your mobile phone to your teenage children and all. Keep it, keep them on your near your eye so that make them feel free that they can talk anything. They will not be victimized. You will not be harsh with the words or putting sanctions on them like USA. You know, don't act like my mother was one hell of a USA for me. When anything goes wrong, immediately gameplay is closed, this is closed. So I keep telling her, so this is what you should have done at that time when we today are. So she said like you आप समझदार हो गए अभी आप अपने बच्चे के लिए ये सब कीजिए. So the easy way to get away. Now, how to deal with any kind of online exploitation? If you see, this is the typical things you can do it. Okay, very firstly, never respond. That's the best thing to do. Go deaf and dumb for those kind of things. No matter how much request, how much something, how much negativity. Ensure that you keep blocking them or you keep tightening your blockages so that they don't come to you. Stop all form of communication immediately if the other person is trying to take advantage of you. Okay, keep all your text, emails, or social media account, all those evidences also block them from all your account, that is WhatsApp, all social media, wherever they are coming. Immediately you have to discard them. Okay, never add them, and keep your privacy settings so tight that they cannot reach to your friend circle at all. Okay, deactivate all the accounts which is used to communicate with that particular persons, but definitely while deactivating, do not erase off all the communication, because it could prove fruitful when you're filing a complaint, legal complaint, and that's the only way of your only way it can save you in tomorrow legal side. Okay, speak safe to the adult wherever, whomever you trust. Either you, if you got a counselor, some of the colleges have started keeping counselors, so you can speak to the counselors. You can speak to your teachers whom you respect the most and whom you are friendly with, a parent or a caretaker or a family member or your neighbors, whoever always played a caregiver's role in you, where you can confide and tell them so that they could be a media to talk to your parents and calm them down and take you to her. These are the two beautiful links what government of India has made, where they, any kind of complaints, online complaint or child maltreatment happens, child abuse happens, they can use these two links and they can connect to the government of India, and they will take care of. There is a special cell been established by the union government, and where they will instruct to the local police and they will do the needful investigation or needful protection, whatever the legal course demands at that particular situation. So this is one. Once Khalil Gibran said, safeguarding the rights of others is the most noble and beautiful end of human being, which is what we all are failing to do today. We contribute to the others' trouble more rather than safeguarding them from the trouble, or we act as if nothing matters to us, and we only are isolating ourselves from the real problem. So to society be free from all these kind of abuses, we need to contribute as a society and not as an individual. Okay, as an individual, some might fall short or some might end up failing also. But as a society, we could emerge and overcome all this kind of trouble psychologically very well. Everybody needs a good mental health. Online is to explore and expand beyond your reach, but it should not be so gruesome that people start doubting their presence on the online, and then they become, that impacts the psychology of a child so much that it hammers their entire future and any relationship whoever tries to walk in the later side. Now, since I represent a prize for this lecture, these are the typical things what we contribute to. One is training in the cybersecurity. There are a lot of other things which my partner Swati can introduce. But training is one of our major aspects where we always role play, and it is almost like, for me, it is 22nd year in row where I've been contribute to all kind of cyber awareness. And this is my fourth lecture on online abuse, especially with regards to earlier lectures. Online abuse was only limited to the women segment, but this was for everybody. So thank you. Uh, Thank you. This is our company name, yours, that is Uprise Solutions. We are your vitamin U. So please stay. If you think nobody is listening to you, I forgot to add up the number, but I will make it available in my notes so that you can reach out to us so that we could help in case somebody is in distress. Thanks a lot. I'm open for questions
Thank you very
if
much,
there's
sir.
any.